comes to trying to diagnose when the Lions are going to be bringing pressure, what kind of distinguishes them, how they do it, as opposed to some other teams you might face?
Yeah, they do a good job, I think, of sort of holding it and disguising it. There's a lot of looks where it looks like it's just a base coverage, and all of a sudden they're bringing guys from different directions and stuff. When they do blitz, like they have certain coverages that are behind their blitzes, but like I said, they do a good job with bringing different guys and sort of holding their water and not showing it. So I think that's the difference, really. Across the year, other teams will sort of have some tips and clues and stuff, but I think these guys do a pretty good job of, sort of switching it up and making it hard for the quarterback to recognize it. So it'll be a good challenge.
Why do you feel you and the offense have done well against the blitz this year?
I feel like, we usually go into it having a good plan. And so the minute they do it, and if we're on it, I think it's sort of like a high risk, high reward kind of thing for both sides. If we're ready and have a good plan for it, all it takes is like a 5-yard throw or something, and we could turn it into a big gain. They're a couple guys short. So we've gone into games where, defenses that blitz a lot, we usually have a good plan for it. So, but that's just the receivers and myself, being on top of it. And when they give us those opportunities, we've got to be ready for it. And if we're not ready for it, then we can get exposed. So
this is your first year as a starter. You led this team to 2 NFC Championship games. You're a finalist for the MVP. What does that tell you about yourself?
Man, I've just been taking it one day at a time, since last year once I stepped into the role. For me, it's never been about all the hype and the glory and all that kind of stuff. It's been about how can I help this team win. And, I have a really good squad around me, and they've helped me get to where I'm at with my game and helped me get better. And so, here we are, second year in a row in the NFC Championship. Very thankful for it, but obviously we have a bigger goal in mind, and we have to handle business this Sunday. So that's where my mind is at with that.
What kind of emotional boost does it give the team that Deebo is good to go?
Yeah, it's huge for us. Deebo's a game changer. He's one of the best in the NFL at what he does. So obviously for him to be able to play, all of us are like, all right, Deebo brings some juice and energy, and we got his back. And so obviously seeing him run around at practice and look good, for us, it's like, all right, it's on. So we're excited for him.
What kind of emotions or confidence did you get from rewatching the film of the last drive?
Yeah, like I said before, the season sort of it's on the line. That was probably our last drive that we were going to have in that game, and so all of us, like when you're watching the film, you could just tell like everyone's on top of their stuff, everyone's detailed in every move, from the O-line and their pass sets to the receivers running to their landmarks and getting to where they need to be, and then obviously making smart decisions and not forcing anything. So you could just tell there was a lot on the line, and I think we played our best ball in that moment. So it was encouraging watching for all of us, and just got to keep building and carry that into this game.
Brock, how did you talked about on Wednesday, maybe not getting to the checkdowns the way you wanted to early in that game, and then in that last drive you did. What caused that kind of realization, or for you to actually execute that?
Yeah, I feel like, there's times in the game where it's like you're aggressive and you can think that there's a window there and make a play, where in that moment it was, okay, obviously every decision is on the line here. So obviously just go through what the coaches have taught all the quarterbacks and be smart. Not that you're going to be timid and conservative, but if the defense isn't, running what we're looking for, then, obviously take the check down. And I feel like during the game it was like, sort of looking for a big play. Periodically. So definitely was playing with some conviction on that last drive, and I think it obviously went well if I had that same mindset. So something that I looked at in the film and learned from it, so it was good.
Did you learn anything about yourself on that last drive, or self-correcting in the game like that?
I think just obviously in that moment, it's everyone makes it a big deal, like, okay, this could be it, but for me it was like, man, it's football. It's 11 on 11. I got dudes around me that are really good. They're going to do their job well. I got to do my job, and let's go execute, put a drive together. So keeping it simple in a sense is what I took away from it.
What do the next 48 hours look like for you?
The same as really this whole year, just in terms of going through my process on a Friday night, Saturday morning, come here for a walkthrough Saturday, and continue to study the plays and everything. But at the same time, keep it simple. All year I've had a process in how I handle my stuff and how I get ready for a game, I try not to overcomplicate things, and so other than that, I'm gonna just go into this game just like I have all year. So I'm excited for it.
Superstitious at all? Do you eat the same food every Friday or anything like that?
I have a routine, but I wouldn't say I'm suspicious. So, yeah.
Brock, hearing you talk about like making those decisions in the moment, you could kind of say the same about the play calling and like what that is like. Do you ever talk with Coach about that, the similarities between him calling plays and making those decisions and trying to stay prepared, use his preparation? Do you talk about like that, the similarities between coaching and quarterbacking in that way at all?
Yeah. I think throughout the week he does a really good job with just explaining why he's calling plays, what we're trying to attack, sort of, how we feel about plays. He always asks us like how we're feeling about it and if we're confident in running it. So he does a good job with that. And then honestly, when he asks me like what I'm thinking in certain situations and stuff, I tell him, and I tell him exactly what I was thinking in the game and moving forward, how I'm feeling about stuff. So we're on the same page a lot of the times about a lot of things. And for him, like he does a good job, like I said, with making sure that we're all comfortable with running what he's calling. All of us, not just the quarterbacks, but players in general. So we all want to play for him. He does a great job with staying on the same level as us and explaining what we're attacking and what we're trying to do. So he's done a good job with that. I think he's one of the best in the league at doing it, and we've seen it for a while. So.
How much do you think your experience in college, playing 4 years and some big games on the road, and being asked to carry an offense, prepared you for coming into this and playing in games and circumstances like this?
Yeah, I think it was good, man, to play 4 years of college ball and, like you said, go and play in different environments and stages and levels of the games being on a higher level. So for me, I took a lot away from those kind of games. I think it helped sort of build me into who I am. Just in terms of finding out what I do good and what I don't and how it can be better. So I definitely remember a lot of games where I feel like it was a high stake game and how I performed and so I can sort of go back to those experiences and remember like, man, I should have done this better, or I remember I did do that well. So for this game, NFC Championship, I want to keep it simple, not blowing it out of proportion in my mind or anything, but at the same time, sort of have some juice because, like, man, this could be a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. So got to be excited about that more than anything, too.
Can you feel or do you know how much confidence your teammates have in you?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like all year, they've been the same guys in the locker room. They've believed in me since I've stepped in, since last year. And throughout the year, I feel like I've grown and we've all grown together. So definitely blessed to have these guys in the locker room with me, and they definitely have my back and through the good and the bad. We've been through some stuff this year, and it hasn't all been pretty. There's been some good times, there's been some tough times, but through it all, man, these guys have continued to have my back and show love, and we go to war together. So very thankful for them.
What do you remember from David Montgomery back in college, and did you give any input to the defense at all about what kind of guy he is?
Yeah, I mean, David was one of the hardest workers I've ever been around. That's the kind of guy that just doesn't go down easy. He's always moving his feet, explosive, great quick cuts. And this week I haven't really been able to talk to my defense about that. I mean, they've seen him, I think, a lot just the last couple of years when he was in Chicago, so they know who he is. But, yeah, I have nothing but love and respect for David and what he's done, and it's a tough dude to get to. Like, he's mentally strong, he's tough, he's physical, and, it's going to be a good challenge to go up against him again. Thanks, guys.